Hi everyone, and this is Pyjama Talks in the field, and we are at WebExpo conference. And today my guest is Karol Danko, CTO of Oats Lab.
Oats Lab. Hi.
Oats Lab, what is the company? What do you do?
Well, we do a very simple thing. We build startups. Imagine you have an idea, you have a concept that you want to build. You come to us and we help you build that. We help you with the product side, we help you with the design side, and then we help you with the implementation side.
Does it mean that you can, if I come to you with the idea, like, hey guys, I want to build a completely new startup of cars that you can call with your smartphone, and so you can make it out from idea to implementation?
Yes, all you need is funding.
So I need money.
Yes. So we come in place where the startup is funded. We implement MVPs, or how we like to call it, MLPs, minimal lovable products. And we built roughly 30 startups so far.
Wow.
So we can take everything what worked and kind of show you how to build a startup.
When is the point when you think, okay, that's it, and you're good to go, we're done?
That's a point between somewhere around Series A. So we come in place in the seed round or family or friend round, where you have some amount of money to build the MVP or to build something to prove your product. Then when you grow, you get to several rounds of funding until you get to Series A.
Yeah.
That's a bigger round. And that's what we know where our mission ends successfully, and we let the company grow.
Does it mean that you can launch startup out of nothing? I mean, when should I come to you? What should I have outside of funding, of course?
Yeah, we accept startups in different stages. Some of them have only an idea, and we help them to polish the idea, like your startup with a car or so.
Yeah.
You need to know what the market is. We help you with that. You need to know what are your user personas, for example. Who are you building it for? And so you need to do some UI UX experimentation. We help you with that. So if you come without the idea, we help you finalize that idea and then build it. If you come with something that you already have, we have startups that are coming that already built something. They build it in a really fast way, for example, just to prove the concept. Yeah. In this case, we help them build something scalable. Because most of the time, these startups that are built for, very fast, for a very small amount of money, they are built only to prove the concept. They cannot scale. They cannot scale with people. They cannot scale with users. And then we come there and make the product scalable.
Talking about technologies, so do you have gold stack that you launch all startups with, or it's completely different every time?
We specialize in full stack JavaScript, and that is because of a single reason. We want to do one thing, and we want to do it well. So if a startup comes, we always evaluate if this tech stack is a fit.
Yeah.
If it is, we want to work with them. If it's not, we have partners that work in other tech stacks. So if a client requires C# or something else, we say, no, thank you, we're really good at JavaScript, but here are our partners that are really good at that.
And JavaScript only or TypeScript?
TypeScript, only TypeScript, yes.
Did you try Deno, the new Node.js?
We did do some experimentation with that, but we try to stick with proven technologies. We always say that the technology is not there for the technology's sake, right?
Yeah.
The technology needs to solve a problem. And if Node.js can solve a problem, then we'll go with that. We host all our apps on platform as a service platforms. They have limited options, basically. Yeah. But because they have limited options, they are safer, more scalable, and so on. Yeah. Like, for example, we use Google Cloud, and they have very good support of Node.js with either Cloud Run or App Engine and so on. But these big hosting companies don't support Deno yet. Well, you can spin up your own virtual machine and run it there, but then you need a DevOps team to take care of the security patches and everything, and we don't want to do that.
How it works? So, for example, some startup comes to you and say, we need to build some product or minimal implementation, now you've done it with your developers, right? And then this startup ends up with, okay, we have product, but we don't have developers to develop it. So how to solve this problem?
We already have a few startups that grew up after Series A, and what we are doing for them, we are building teams for that. We have something that we call Oaks Lab Boost, which means build, own, operate, scale, and transfer. What that means, we develop the MVP or MLP with us, with the Oaks Lab team, but we always build it with technologies that are standard. Our startups are really easy to onboard people to, because we use standard approaches, standard technologies, and then once the startup gets big, we build the teams for them. For example, we are now building a team in the US for one of our startups that grew up.
Yeah.
Or we're building a team in the Ukraine also for one of our startups that grew up. And what's the added value for our clients is that we inject all our processes, all like how we do things, and kind of a kickstart the team. And we kind of do a slow handover. So first it's only our team, then it's mixed, and then it's only their team.
So you use Node.js for backend. What are the other tools for front end, for example? What do you use?
Yeah, I think our tech stack is really kind of fine-tuned for being effective with the code, what you might call a developer experience. So on the backend, we use Node.js.
Yeah.
We use Prisma. We use with databases. We are a bit traditional. We use PostgreSQL because it has all the tooling, and we can scale PostgreSQL really nicely. And with that, we use Nexus for the GraphQL layer. So that's backend. On the front end, we use React with Apollo client and instance server. So it works really nicely. And with TypeScript, with CodeGen, you can generate a code which makes you very effective. Like the things that you had to code for days and weeks 2 years back are now a matter of hours.
Isn't it a bit boring for developers? So over and over again, you use the same stack, or tasks are so different. It means that every time you have different tasks.
We use this tech stack as a default, but we always try to think what that startup means. For example, some startups need a mobile app where we use also React Native. Some don't. Some it's good if they use Node.js, or some need some data processing with Python, for example. So we always choose the languages to fit the startup.
Yeah.
But so far, this tech stack was really useful in all the startups that we built. If you're asking if it's boring, I don't think so. Because, as I said, the programming language is only a tool to build things. And our engineers like to build things. And imagine it's not like in a huge company where you kind of get a task and you have to accomplish that. We like to motivate people to be empowered, basically. So everybody in a team has a chance to influence that project and product. So you're not solving engineering challenges. Well, you are solving engineering challenges definitely, but with that comes the product challenges. How to make the product the best it can.
And how close you work with startups? So is it they come to you saying, okay, we need this, and see you in 1 year?
No. We use very close to them. Now, just going back to the engineering complexity, it's not like these tools are done and there's no issues with them. Of course, they evolve. Prisma, we are trying Prisma in version 1. It was not so good. We are now using Prisma 2. They're always evolving. We're always learning new things. We're trying to push things on the back end and also the front end. Try to use, for example, different infrastructure settings to get the best out of the infrastructure. We're trying to push front end forward, for example, with let's say animations or better UX, better UI. So there's always interesting engineering problems to solve.
I see. How many engineers do you have?
Right now we have around 30 engineers.
Oh, that's a lot. And I think big question from business perspective, it's what is the best balance between, because if you don't develop, I mean, as a startup that comes to you, What is the rule of thumb, or what is the best ratio between micromanagement and, on the other hand, for example, they have some needs, and if they don't, I don't want to use control, but kind of like, what is the best ratio between saying see you in 1 year, or micromanagement? Okay, every day I would call you. How's the project?
Okay. Yeah. So we work totally differently. We like to talk to our clients, or well, we don't call them clients because that doesn't form the kind of a team atmosphere. Those are our stakeholders. So we want to talk to stakeholders ideally every day. We have them on stand-ups, we have them on plannings, so they are really close to the development. We are on the market for 5 years now, so we're building startups for 5 years. So we were able to build trust within our network, and when the startups come to us, they already know they can trust us as experts.
Yeah, I see.
So imagine you have the idea with a car. You are a car expert, you're a business expert, and you come to us because we know how to build that thing. You're asking whether to control or to micromanage. We don't want to do that. We rather want to explain. So you don't tell me, okay, I need this feature, but you have to tell me, I need this feature because I'm expecting that it will increase my revenue by 50%. And we set metrics for that, and we implement it in a way to actually get to that goal. Because if you are not technical, imagine that you are totally not non-technical, you don't know what's possible. So if you have a goal to have 1 million users in a month, we have, okay, 1 million users in a month is too much. Yeah. But you have some goals, and you as a non-technical person don't know what everything technically is possible. Yeah. So we try to include the team in the brainstorming and in choosing the path.
How did you come with this JavaScript stack? Why not? Because many people are saying, okay, JavaScript has limitations, TypeScript, and Node.js sometimes is not. So what was the path?
Yes, I have experience with Node.js for a lot of years, also before I was in Cloud. But when we were thinking about what tech stack to choose, we wanted to choose something that people like to work with and that will not limit us in any way. So far, we didn't find the limitations of this tech stack, and it has proven to be a good path. Because if you have JavaScript or TypeScript on front end and back end, it works really nicely as a unison. And also, you can have engineers that focus on both. Well, we do have full stack engineers in Oaks Lab. Some of them focus more on backend, so they're backend experts, but they can make changes on the front end. Then they are front end experts, but they can make changes on the backend, which really streamlines the entire process of development.
Is it hard to find? So I assume that your engineers, they are full stack.
Well, some of them are full stack, some of them backend, some of them front end. But because the tech stack is so close, the front end and back end are close, and also mobile, we use React Native. There are situations where, for example, you're a front end engineer, and you need to adjust one field in GraphQL. You can just go there and change it yourself. Well, there's a code review, of course, process and so on, but it's really easy to introduce kind of a cross edits in project.
And what do you use for? Do you use any like less or CSS, SCSS?
Yeah, this was a really long discussion in the company. We had people that liked less, we had people that liked SAS. But after a year or two of discussions or so, because we have roughly 6 or 7 projects running at a time, which allows us to try different things in production. Because when you kind of make a tutorial, it doesn't really show you anything. You just need to explore the issues that are with the tool after half a year of coding. So we have the luxury that we can experiment also with these things. Right now, there's a kind of agreement that we use styled components. This is what the team agreed on, and this is what we can kind of focus on. But it happens often that there are some new technologies that we kind of want to decide which way to go. For example, right now we have big discussions about monorepo and the tooling around that. Some projects are using Lerna, some NX, some not at all, and we're kind of we are not decided yet which way is the best for us.
Yeah.
But after we have all the experience with running in production that's important, then we can decide, and we can also recommend also to our stakeholders which way to go.
I've heard some opinions that some, like for hardcore front-end engineers, it's not enough hardcore. What do you think about it? I agree.
Yeah, well, I do agree, and I don't think it's a goal of this conference.
Yeah.
I think that this conference is cross-functional. So for hardcore front-ends or hardcore back-ends, there are other conferences, I think.
Yeah.
But what I like about this conference is, this is the first conference in person in 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's really nice, because I think that I always learn more from talking to people than from the talks themselves. Like the talks are an inspiration to follow up on, to do your research. But then when you talk to people, ideally over beer, that's where you get an awesome information.
What if you can give one advice about tech stack? Because you have chosen your gold tech stack, and maybe some advice to someone who's trying to find their gold stack. How to understand what do you need and what you don't need.
You have to think about it. What do you want the tech stack for? If you want a tech stack for your own project, go wild, experiment. If you're building a tech stack for a company that you want to get to those million users, think about if you can find people to do that. If the tech stack might limit you in the future. I wouldn't say one way is correct. Because the tech stack is only a tool. If you can find people to work with JavaScript or C# or whatever, that's your golden tech stack. If you have 20 engineers that can use one tool really efficiently, you cannot wish for anything else.
Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure, and it was a pleasure for you, I guess. And see you in the next WebExpo conference.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.